Good morning and welcome to the Senior Hour, which is sponsored by Comfort Keepers in Home Care and Santa Clarita Hearing Center. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host
Dr. Gene Dorio.
on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. This is a show for, about, and by seniors, giving information to enhance one's quality of life. And speaking of quality of life, utmost, we have Dr. Ginny Veloz, who is the owner of Santa Clarita Hearing Center. Good morning and welcome to the Senior Hour.
Good morning. Thank you.
Morning, Jenny.
Thank
Yes.
you. Good morning.
Welcome.
And what a perfect person to have on, because so many of our seniors begin losing their hearing.
That's true.
Really
Yeah,
is
yeah.
true. So far, I'm fortunate. I haven't lost mine yet. Yet.
Okay.
So what's new in the hearing industry?
Well, probably the biggest news that we touched on last month was that President Biden has signed in approval for hearing aids to be sold over the counter without the need of a professional, which, is a little concerning. It's a little concerning in our field because we're always looking to protect the consumer and the patient. And I'm not quite so sure this is the best thing, but we're going to let it play out and see how it goes.
Well, I won't make any comments, okay, because they wouldn't be very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's a kind of a scary situation.
Well,
I,
it's like for as a physician, hearing that people are going to utilize solely and only the internet and Google to get their medical knowledge. There are limitations, of course, in terms of that happening because some of it could be based on prescription medication that they can't get without a doctor. But a lot of times they'll do things according to their convenience. And that very well could happen with hearing, where a change, and this is a sensory, it's a sense that's sensory for all of us, but if something starts to go wrong, it could be meaningful. And it might need further exploration, and taking it out of the hands of individuals might allow something terrible to occur. And I know, Barbara, you're apprehensive for, exactly, I'm sure, those reasons that something could be missed. And indeed, I think that could very well happen.
Well, I kind of liken it to when I go to get my contact lenses. If I were to go into Walgreens or Rite Aid and I were to go in and say, okay, I need to get myself some contact lenses, where do I even start? What prescription would I need? If I needed glasses, how would I know how the frames are supposed to sit on my face? Don't know. So we're kind of shooting in the dark, and they're kind of preset. You do not need a hearing test done. It's just simply purchase over the counter. And, like you said, if somebody has an underlying issue, a hearing doctor has the knowledge to see that and rule it out before putting a Band-Aid on the problem like a hearing aid. There's certain diseases of the ear that we need to make sure are not the cause of the hearing loss. But how would you ever know if you didn't go in and see somebody to be checked?
that's right. I know, because when I took Russ in to the hearing doctor, I mean, they did all kinds of tests on him. I mean, putting him in a room by himself and measuring all kinds of hearing areas. And then they had a big machine outside the room that they used to test to make sure that there wasn't any problem in there, and that, yes, he did have a hearing problem, and gave the extent of the hearing problem so that they could professionally advise the type of hearing aid
Correct.
and how sensitive or not that it would be for him.
And an audiologist or hearing doctor knows how to take that information and program a computer inside the hearing aid so that it does no further damage. Yet
Hmm.
it
That's
works
correct.
effectively. And
Absolutely.
so if you have a very mild hearing loss and you pick the wrong thing over the counter, you run the risk of hurting or damaging your hearing even more. And that's where I'm concerned.
And it's
Yeah.
interesting because a lot of people figure, well, I'll just go to Costco or Walgreens or whatever and tell them I'm not hearing too well and have them give me hearing aid. And like you say, there may be more problems involved within the inner ear
Hmm.
that the patient is not aware of.
Correct.
And
Correct.
that's where the damage can occur.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about the difference between a hearing doctor and a hearing aid dispenser. One has been university trained to find these diseases of the ear and to effectively treat, by sending to ear, nose, and throat, remove wax, or fit with a hearing aid, um, versus a dispenser who is a salesperson who just wants to sell you a hearing aid. And that has always been a concern. However, now we've just upped the ante by saying you don't even need anybody. Just go pick one out on the shelf and put it in your ear. Um, and if you have a hearing loss that's severe, these over-the-counter things are meant for very mild hearing losses. Um, who's to say that you're going to spend a lot of money on something and it's not going to work?
That's
Or that
right.
when you really don't need it either. What if it's just wax? How are you going to know that it's not just something simple?
Correct.
And the majority of a majority of the time that I've seen patients and they tell me they're having hearing problems or their loved one is saying that to them, their wife is saying it to them. I do the simple thing. I look in their ear.
Right.
Just
First
to
thing.
make sure I eliminate right off the bat.
Very
That's my
first.
reflex reaction.
Yep.
Look in the ear. But if no one's looking in your ear, you're not going to know. And you could be saying, "Oh, gee, my hearing's getting worse." Well, maybe it's because the wax is getting worse. Who knows?
Right.
But you can invest more money than you want in these devices and never know. And then there's that small chance, but it's a possibility that you could have a tumor
Mm-hmm.
causing
That's
the
right.
problem. So you don't know. This is a very difficult situation, I think, for my patients. A lot of them, Jenny, are turning to this because of the cost. But we've talked about that before, and Medicare will pay for a hearing exam, and so just get the hearing exam. It gives you a baseline and gives you a map, and it tells you if later down the line, if it's getting worse, it gives you trends.
Mm-hmm.
Just to take it into one's own hands is rather dangerous.
Correct. And while Medicare itself does not cover hearing aids, there are supplemental Medicare plans that can allow you to get hearing aids at a reduced price.
Hmm.
Um, I have hearing aids for all price ranges. I can match anything that you can find um, at Costco or Walgreens, or it's a $20 device. Obviously, is not. We've seen that at Walmart. That's silly, and but just get the hearing test by a hearing doctor. Hear what they have to say. Make sure it's nothing else. I mean, if we're looking at the bright side of it, there's people who are going to now pursue because they think hearing aids cost, 6,000, 5,000, whatever it is. They don't have to. And I tell my patients that all the time. They do not have to cost that much. So maybe we'll get more people reaching out for the help. We just hope I'm just really educating the public to reach out to the right person. Don't go
Right.
to the pharmacist at Walgreens.
That's right. Go to a hearing specialist,
Mm-hmm.
someone who knows what they are doing,
Mm-hmm.
because you may go to Walgreens or wherever, and the people there think they know about it. But all they're doing is selling hearing aids. They're there for the
Correct.
sale.
Well, and you don't want me prescribing medication because I don't know how to do that. You know, we have to stay within our scope of practice. I'm not going to prescribe you medication. I don't have the license to do that, and I don't have the knowledge to do that. I'm going to talk to you about your ears, and that's about it.
That's
Because
right.
that's what I've been trained to do.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's so important because, why should people go to a hearing specialist and not just a dispenser?
A hearing,
Why?
well, a hearing doctor, here's the thing, a hearing doctor has been university trained. We have passed national certification tests. We have passed practicum tests. So we are trained to find diseases of the ear and treat them properly. And sometimes, like I said, that's a referral to an ear, nose, and throat doctor. Sometimes that's a hearing aid. Sometimes it's removing wax. And then we're done. You're hearing fine again, and we're good to go. A hearing aid dispenser, in order to get your license, you have to have a high school diploma. No, yeah, and no criminal record. That's what you need in order to start the process. Then you have to find an audiologist or another hearing aid dispenser that knows what they're doing, that will take you under their wing and train you. And then you have to pass a practicum just like an audiologist or hearing doctor has to do in order to not hurt the consumer, hurt the patient, audiologically or physically with testing or removing wax or making an ear mold impression. So if somebody can find a dispenser who's good and knows what they're doing, they're in good hands. But how would you know? You don't know. You don't know what you don't know. And so you're going to somebody getting trained in what you think is the right thing in order to pass a test and become a salesperson. And sometimes, look, I've known some great hearing aid dispensers, salespeople, but not all of them are. And you don't know.
That's right.
You don't know. So it's just really important to understand who your physician, if you're going to your doctor saying, doctor, I'm having trouble hearing, and they send you to a provider, to know, does that provider have a degree in audiology? Mm-hmm. And if they do, have they gone the extra effort and gotten their doctorate and learned even more? And or if they're a dispenser, who are you seeing? Don't know. You have to ask.
That's right.
You have to ask. And a lot of times the doctors don't know. They're limited by their insurance and the physicians have to refer within a network. And in that network, there might be an audiologist and there might be a dispenser. Well, at least see the audiologist. At least see an audiologist if you're going to go for a diagnostic test.
Yes.
Not a salesperson.
If you have to look in the telephone directory, look under audiology.
Audiology.
And that will give you the numbers of the audiologists who are in the local area.
And some audiologists employ dispensers. So make sure when you're going for that diagnostic initial exam, you're seeing somebody who's there to diagnose these ear diseases, make sure, rule them out, and not somebody who's just there to sell you something. Everybody's out to just sell you something. I know. Mm-hmm. But you want to see a hearing doctor in the best case scenario, at least to get the accurate information. So important.
It really is, because an audiologist has had the training, they've been to school, they've gone through all the processes to learn how to diagnose someone who has a hearing problem, a disease of the ear, or whatever the problem is. Mm-hmm. They are the ones who have gone through the process. Whereas, like you said, Ginny, someone working behind the counter has taken a few courses and, oh, well, yeah, I know all about this. I can prescribe them.
It's easy.
Yes.
Sure.
Oh,
Not a
ho.
problem.
Yes, good way to earn a living.
Exactly.
And that's
Exactly.
not the way to go.
No, I mean look at the Veterans Administration. The Veterans Administration employs audiologists only, and they have a community care network of audiologists who, when they get overflow, they get very busy. We've stepped up. Santa Clarita Hearing Center is one of those facilities that will see veterans. The veterans will only allow a doctor of audiology to see the veterans. They will not allow somebody, even with a master's degree or a dispenser. You have to have a doctorate in order to do it. The Veterans Administration knows the importance, and the community should know the importance as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think it's time to take a little break. And we'll be back in a few moments to talk with Dr. Ginny Veloz. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220, KHTS.
Your business sign is essential to getting customers to your location. Feathers can help you get your business noticed. Feathers, now in a new, larger space with plenty of parking. They walk you through each phase of your project with special attention to detail and quality. Feathers will provide you a sign that you can be proud of. Your sign will draw customers in instead of having them drive by. Visit Feathers online at feathersigns.com or go to Feathers' brand new, bigger location at 26017 Huntington Drive off Rye Canyon or call 298-9442.
And now a cooking tip from Keith Mowry from Bob's Country Meats. Everyone loves chicken. It's easy to cook in a variety of ways, especially on the barbecue.
Marinate it overnight in your favorite marinade. Brown it up nice on the barbecue. And then put it on the other side in direct heat. Close your lid. Take another 25-30 minutes. And they're good.
Chicken, tri-tip, pork chops, turkey, steaks, even exotic game like buffalo and ostrich. For the tastiest chicken in town, visit Bob's Country Meats on Soledad in Canyon Country.
It's time to experience a pain relief, wellness, and anti-aging treatment unlike any other. It's time to check out Mend Cryotherapy. Relieve chronic joint and muscle pain, diminish soreness and inflammation, alleviate stress-related symptoms, boost immune system performance, and improve sleep and recovery times. Mend Cryotherapy is open Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Go to Mend, M-E-N-D, cryotherapy.com on Newhall Ranch Road in the Gateway Shopping Center.
Gavin Newsom is the most arrogant governor the state has ever seen. He's imposed more restrictive COVID mandates than any other state in the country, and yet California is no safer than any other state. I'm Eric Hallaby, owner of Total Financial Solutions, and we've been assisting Santa Clarita residents with their financial goals for over 25 years. Under Newsom, my friends, neighbors have lost their jobs and their businesses. Our kids have lost a full year of in-school education and will now be forced to wear uncomfortable, restrictive, and very unhealthy masks for up to 10 hours a day during this upcoming school year. This is all in defiance to the very science Newsom and his cohorts pledged to follow. COVID restrictions, a spike in crime, and the homeless crisis are all blamed on Newsom's policies. More than 1,900 people a day have left the state of California. Enough is enough. It's time for a change. On September 14th, I urge you to vote to recall Governor Gavin Newsom. We support replacing him with Larry Elder, not a politician, but a leader with sensible solutions. Common sense, fix the state. Vote for Larry Elder. Visit electelder.com. That's electelder.com.
Loss of hearing can affect the quality of life. Santa Clarita Hearing Center can help. They specialize in both preventative hearing loss and corrective measures, including diagnostic tests, new technology hearing aids, cochlear implants, hearing protection, and tinnitus treatment. They can adjust your current hearing aids or fit you for new ones. Santa Clarita Hearing Center also offers sleep molds, swim molds, and musician monitors. Book an appointment today. Log on to SantaClaritaHearingCenter.com. Located on McBean Parkway next to the hospital. That's SantaClaritaHearingCenter.com.
Hometown KHTS breaking news.
Hi everybody, this is Patty with KHTS yet again. We have some breaking news outlet on the little brush fire that was on the 14 freeway has been handled. Traffic is still being impacted there on the 14 for a little bit of time, but it has been handled. However, we have a new breaking news outlet. We actually have a deputy involved shooting north of Templin Avenue on the southbound 5, and this is a current developing story right now ongoing in Santa Clarita and on with KHTS. For more information, we will update as we get more information throughout the hour. For now, we're going back to the senior hour, but we will update with more. Thank you for listening.
Your hometown station.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. And we're speaking with Dr. Ginny Veloz of Santa Clarita Hearing Center, one of our sponsors. And, okay, let's continue on this very important subject,
Okay.
especially for our seniors.
Yes.
And I think we were going to talk about maybe symptoms that a person might have other than just hearing loss. But it's kind of incredible that, and not surprising that many a time people are suffering from hearing loss. Either it goes unrecognized or they just don't want to admit that there's a problem. So let's talk a little bit about the symptomology that caregivers and loved ones might see in our patients that say, hey, there's a problem going on and it's hearing.
Well, hearing is very different than vision, and I think a lot of people connect the two together, and for likely reasons. With vision, if you have trouble seeing distance, everything is blurry. Everything is not clear. And with hearing,
Tell me about it.
with hearing, it's different in the sense that depending on the where the hearing loss lies, it doesn't have to be everything that's difficult to hear, maybe only some things. So what I hear every single day is I don't have a problem hearing. I can hear people talk. If they don't mumble, they don't talk fast, and they look at me. Otherwise, I hear them, I just don't know what they said. So I know I can hear. It's not a problem. But I don't understand them because they mumble, they talk fast, they don't look at me, they have an accent. And that is a sign of hearing loss. That means that there's hearing that has been impacted, maybe not across the entire frequency range, like a piano keyboard where you have the bass and the middle and the treble, but maybe only the treble has been affected and you can hear fine in the other areas. So, you can have hearing loss but still hear certain sounds, and that's where it gets confusing. So,
And let me,
yeah,
I just like to mention also more recently, when I do house calls, I still wear a mask going to house calls.
yes,
And some of my patients we have found to have the hearing loss is now clearer for us because they can't read my lips anymore.
oh right,
Because I have a mask on.
right,
And so now we're realizing their loved ones and myself that their hearing problems are more has been accentuated because they can't read our lips. And so this is, this pandemic has brought this out more profoundly than it ever has in the past.
And that's why our offices are so busy right now, because people are coming out and they are realizing I can't hear when I'm checking out at the market. I can't hear the person at the bank teller. I'm struggling. The plexiglass is now in between us and I'm really struggling. And it's these, it's the mask. I can't see somebody's face and I never realized how much I relied on that. And yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Well, the other thing too, when you have a mask on, the words do get muffled because the mask is blocking a lot of the sound.
The mask is not blocking as much sound as you would think. I mean, depending on the mask.
Well, that's true. And then some of the people in the banks go, they talk so fast. Wait a minute, slow down. My mind doesn't process all the garble because they're talking so fast. When they slow down and speak slower, then I can understand. And I don't know whether that's them or me or a combination of both.
So what would you do about that if you didn't know, was it them or was it me?
I'd go have my hearing checked.
There you go.
Yes.
And then we'll know.
That's right.
When your hearing comes out normal, then we can say, yep, that teller talks too fast, go to a different teller. But until you have your hearing tested, we don't know.
That's correct. That's correct.
You know, sorry. Spouses,
you know,
caregivers, they know. They know they have to repeat themselves. They know if they're calling to you from the kitchen and you're in the living room with the TV on, you're not going to hear. You're not going to understand.
No.
So these are things that spouses, caregivers, family members, friends can look for.
That's
Yeah.
correct. That's correct.
And Barbara and I have, since I do house calls, Barbara and I have, she's done home delivered meals. I go to their homes. But, when you hear the TV getting out of your car in somebody's home, and you even can tell what channel it's on, that's pretty bad.
Yes.
That television is loud,
Yes.
and that's a sure giveaway. And of course, hey, what did you say again? Repeating things
Yep.
like that, having the radio tuned up higher,
Yep.
not hearing sirens. I mean, there's so many things that are clues to the people around our loved ones that that should be heeded and being made aware of. And sometimes you do, but it just carries on and carries on. No, I'm not getting a hearing aid, and things like that, because they're stubborn. So, but it does affect the quality of life, and we need to to enhance it. You need to have your hearing. You need to have your vision. You need to be able to walk and ambulate.
Yep.
So there are just quality of life things that we face, and we have to know as we're getting older, it could affect you, but we can do something about it.
That's true. And many people they think, oh, people are going to think I'm deaf if they see this monster hanging in my ear. It's not a very nice thing to see. And that's another reason why people don't
Yes.
pursue.
That's a very common, a hearing aid will make me look old.
Yes.
A hearing aid will remind me that, I'm getting older. And I'm going to tell your listeners this right now. You're not fooling anybody. You're not fooling anybody. Everybody knows you have a hearing loss.
That's
I promise you. We all know. Most times I fit a hearing aid and I just tell people, don't even discuss it with anybody. Nobody has to know. And most times nobody even notices the hearing aid on their ear. They're so small and discreet. They have so much technology in them that they become almost completely automatic, so you don't have to mess with them. You put them in and you go. That's what I tell people. Yes, there's volume control. Yes, there's multiple programs. Yes, there's Bluetooth compatibility to your cell phone or your television. You don't have to have any of that if you don't want. The hearing aids are fantastic the way they are. If you need to have volume control, we'll add it. If you need to have an extra program, then we'll add it as we need it. They can be very, very simple to use. They can be easy to put on. They can be custom made if necessary. They can have rechargeable batteries, so we're not changing the batteries every week anymore. We just simply put them in a charger at night, and they charge up and you put them in the next day. They can be very, very simple to use, or they can have a lot of functions and features to play with if you choose.
Especially through your cell phone.
Through the cell phone, you can have volume, you can have programs, you can have equalizers where you can adjust more bass, more treble. You can save your own programs. You can geolocate so that when you walk into that Starbucks, it'll automatically go to the exact program that you liked it. You can have remote programming so you don't have to come into the audiologist's office anymore. We can just do it over the computer, and I can do adjustments. I can check the hearing aids. I can do this. We can make it as easy as you want, or we can give you all the fun little things to play with if you want.
You know,
It's up to you.
that's amazing
Yeah.
that technology has come that far. It just blows my mind. It really does. Because that's, who would have thought, 10 years ago that this would be going on?
Yeah, to
I
think
mean-
you can be in your hotel room in Paris, right? Or you could be on safari in Africa and connect.
Yes.
We can schedule an appointment and you can take your phone out and you can go into the session, into the app, and then I will meet you there and connect to your hearing aids and I'll make changes for you because you want you want to be able to hear the elephants better. Yes, we can do that.
That is
It's
amazing.
amazing.
That is absolutely
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
But,
I
you know,
love
don't-
it.
Oh, yes.
Just going back to the vanity part about having a hearing aid that makes you look old, I will tell you that there are just many other things that I know are making me look old: gray hair, wrinkles, stooping over, no mobility. I mean, come on, a hearing aid is not going to do it. It's going to. There are many other things. We're just getting older that we have to contend with, and a hearing aid that's visible, I understand there's some people have a problem with it, but there are too many other things. I can't stand the wrinkles, but that's just a part of life that we're getting to as we get older. So
Yeah.
let it be. Get a hearing aid. It'll change your life for the better.
Absolutely
Don't let
will.
vanity or anything else
Yep.
stop you from having that quality.
And the quality can be a happy marriage. It can be communication with your grandchildren. It can be independence. It can be lessening the chances of dementia. It can be independent living. It can be continuing to drive because you can hear the sirens coming. These are very, very important things that come with wearing a hearing aid. It's really not that big a deal. We wear glasses.
That's right.
It's not that big a deal.
No,
It's
it
really
really
not. I
is.
promise you it's not.
I think I would rather wear glasses than having to put contact lenses in my eyes. I think that would be most uncomfortable for me.
And I wear contact lenses because glasses are uncomfortable for me.
Isn't that interesting?
So it's very personal decision. I like to offer patients who come in who are very on the fence and not sure. I understand. You're not sure. Let me show you. And when you come into Santa Clarita Hearing Center, I'm happy to loan you a pair of hearing aids to take home for a few days, for a week maybe. Wear them in your own life. Wear them in your house, talking with your family, in your car. Go do the things that you do. Go walk the dog. Do what you do, and then come back and we'll talk about it. And if you honestly feel that they did not enhance your life, okay, well maybe you want to wait another year and come back and try it again. No problem. But at least you tried them. At least you're educating yourself, and you're becoming a good consumer, and you're being a good advocate for your own health.
You're becoming aware.
And that's what I really think is very, very important. People have to advocate for themselves, and they have to, give it a try. I'm fine doing that. I'll loan you a pair. See what you think.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Now what's
So
your
can we-
excuse?
There is no excuse.
But one of the things that is fearful, I know, I do house calls, like I've said, but people coming into the office are worried about COVID, but just about what might happen, bad news, things like that. But what happens, Jenny, when people make an appointment to come in? They need a referral, or can they just walk in? They bring their Medicare cards or their health insurance cards. But what would they expect when they come into your office, when you're lining them up just to have a hearing test? What do they have to go through?
For people who have Medicare primary, you have to have you have to talk to your primary care physician and ask them for a prescription for a hearing test. That's a Medicare rule. You must call yourself. I'm not allowed to call for you. And the primary care physicians know, they get these calls all the time. They'll go, okay, where would you like me to send it? You give them my fax number, my email, or give them your own email, fax, and then bring it with you. That's all you need to do is bring me a script that says a hearing test. And then you come in, you'll fill out some paperwork if it's your first time in our office. Like you fill out paperwork everywhere else, it's not a lot. And then we're going to talk about your, what brought you in, where are you having difficulty, what kind of medications are you on, what kind of history do you have with noise exposure, medical history, things like that. And then we're going to put you in the booth, we're going to test your hearing, and then we're going to go over the results. And we're going to show you, why you're having the problem that you came in for. What's the treatment? What do we do? Do we want to go see an ear, nose, and throat doctor? Do we want to try a hearing aid? Do we need to, wait a while because your hearing is still good? And that's really all there is to it.
How about the right now with the pandemic? What about when people come in? Do they have to show that they've had vaccinations? Do they have to wear a mask? What happens when they get into the hearing booth? Are they wearing a mask in there? And how much surveillance has there been to assure that things are hygienically okay and relative to COVID?
You must wear a mask in the office at all times, as do I. That's still mandated by the state and by the CDC. When you go in the booth and you're in the booth by yourself, yes, you must keep your mask on. And I know you're in there by yourself. However, after you, somebody else will be going into that booth. I'm, really caring for people who are elderly with compromised immune systems, as well as younger patients who may also have a compromised immune systems. And then when we are done in the booth and you are no longer in the office, everything is wiped down. Everything that you have touched, everywhere you have sat, everything that was in your ear, everything is wiped down and sanitized. And our waiting room is open. However, we are staggering patients. So you should really not see anybody else in the office, my office, while you're there. Typically, you're in and out before the next person comes, which gives me time to wipe everything down and sanitize. But you do need to wear a mask. That's the rules.
Well, very good, very good. Now, one of the things that you mentioned kids, and this is the senior hour, but we have grandkids, so and great grandkids. What about when is it that you start worrying that something's wrong with the hearing of your kid? I mean, that's not always clear cut, whether it be vision or hearing. What are the clues in kids that we might say, other than bad grades? And maybe that's a clue too. I don't know.
Well,
what are the things that you have heard that might be helpful to warrant a hearing test?
Jean, can we approach that after we come back from the break?
Absolutely.
Okay, we need to break and take a break now. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS.
Healthcare can be difficult if you're underinsured or have Medi-Cal. Samuel Dixon Family Health Center can help. Services are available on a sliding fee schedule. The mission of the Samuel Dixon Family Health Center is to give the Santa Clarita Valley access to affordable, quality primary care. There are 3 locations to serve you: Canyon Country, Newhall, and Valverde. Go to sdfhc.org for more information and to find the location most convenient for you.
Introducing Oakmont of Valencia, Oakmont's second luxury senior living community in Santa Clarita. At Oakmont of Valencia, you'll have access to full-time assisted living services provided by compassionate staff in the privacy of your own home. Oakmont's Diabetic Wellness Program offers assistance with monitoring and managing glucose levels, meals, exercise, and activities. Oakmont of Valencia offers a fully equipped wellness center and concierge medicine program, allowing outside physicians to visit on site. Discover the care your loved one deserves in a resort-style setting. Visit oakmontofvalencia.com.
Gavin Newsom is the most arrogant governor the state has ever seen. He's imposed more restrictive COVID mandates than any other state in the country, and yet California is no safer than any other state. I'm Arif Halaby, owner of Total Financial Solutions, and we've been assisting Santa Clarita residents with their financial goals for over 25 years. Under Newsom, my friends, neighbors have lost their jobs and their businesses. Our kids have lost a full year of in-school education and will now be forced to wear uncomfortable, restrictive, and very unhealthy masks for up to 10 hours a day during this upcoming school year. This is all in defiance to the very science Newsom and his cohorts pledged to follow. COVID restrictions, a spike in crime, and the homeless crisis are all blamed on Newsom's policies. More than 1,900 people a day have left the state of California. Enough is enough. It's time for a change. On September 14th, I urge you to vote to recall Governor Gavin Newsom. We support replacing him with Larry Elder, not a politician, but a leader with sensible solutions. Common sense, fix the state, vote for Larry Elder. Visit electelder.com. That's electelder.com.
Lots of people can build websites, but there's one Santa Clarita company that specializes in designing websites for your business. Small Dog Creative. The Small Dog Creative team is made up of local designers who are hands-on. Their talented team of experts build premium websites and redefine branding. Small Dog Creative doesn't just build websites. They'll upgrade your business's online presence and turn your business into a powerful online brand. Small Dog Creative, Santa Clarita's most innovative web and design company. SmallDogCreative.com.
Loss of hearing can affect the quality of life. Santa Clarita Hearing Center can help. They specialize in both preventative hearing loss and corrective measures, including diagnostic tests, new technology hearing aids, cochlear implants, hearing protection, and tinnitus treatment. They can adjust your current hearing aids or fit you for new ones. Santa Clarita Hearing Center also offers sleep molds, swim molds, and musician monitors. Book an appointment today. Log on to SantaClaritaHearingCenter.com, located on McBean Parkway next to the hospital. That's SantaClaritaHearingCenter.com.
Why did Mercedes-Benz of Valencia win the Dealer of Excellence Award in 2019?
Because we strive to provide the most outstanding sales experience.
Mercedes-Benz of Valencia COO Chris Paz.
We know you have high expectations. Our stellar team will meet and exceed your expectations. That's why we were named Mercedes Best of the Best, placing us in the top 10% of all Mercedes dealers nationwide.
Find out how you can lease a new Mercedes for unbelievably low monthly payments. Details at mbzvalencia.com.
No words can describe the power of belonging to a group of close friends or being part of a family. Insight Treatment Center was founded more than 20 years ago to give teenagers a community of friends and family as they overcome issues like depression, anxiety, and trauma. The new Santa Clarita location is a COVID-secure environment where distance and good airflow are a priority. As a leader in providing intensive outpatient treatment to teenagers, Insight Treatment Center in Santa Clarita is here to help. Call 888-295-9995 or go online to insighttreatment.com.
Hometown. KHTS Breaking News.
Hi, everybody. This is Patty with KHTS, bringing you a breaking news outlet going on right now with a deputy-involved shooting that is north of Templin Avenue, and it is on the southbound 5. All we have right now is that the southbound 5 is actually shut down right now, so traffic is definitely being impacted right now. We advise you to please get off the freeway around that area just because you're going to be sitting in traffic for a little bit. Outside of that, we don't have any more updates right now, but we will be updating as we hear more and more news coming to us. So you can listen to us on KHTS Radio on our Facebook, also KHTS 98.1 FM and AM 1220 on the radio, and check us out at hometownstation.com for more updates. Back to you, Barbara and Dr. Dorio, for the Senior Hour.
It's like no other station I've ever listened to. It's great.
Your hometown station.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. And we're speaking with Dr. Ginny Veloz, owner of the Santa Clarita Hearing Center, one of our sponsors. And Jean, you had some specific areas to address?
Yeah, definitely. Because we talk a lot about the seniors, but the kids have problems too. And even during our break, I don't quite know when that process starts. But Jenny, why don't you tell us a little bit about how kids are screened right from the get-go, and then we'll talk about older kids who are 3, 4, 5 years old, and trying to determine whether they might have hearing problems that developed and were missed, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Well, we know from research that we have until the age of 5 years old to learn speech and language and to speak as a native. So I can learn Spanish at this point, but I'm never going to speak it as a native. It's just not something that our brain is capable of doing after the age of 5. And so back in 1992, the universal newborn hearing screening started. And what we do now is with every birth, the infant is screened before they leave the hospital to make sure their hearing is good. If infants are born at home, they do have a set amount of time that they must have the screening completed and reported. So we're catching these kids, and we're getting hearing aids on the kids we need to at within 2 months. 1 month, 2 months. So it's just been a phenomenal thing because we're, before we did this, we were catching the kids who were 4 and not talking yet, right? And the boys, we always say, well, boys are slower at progressing through speech learning anyway, so let's give them another year. And then at that point, we're not going to learn speech and language, as a native speaker, which affects affects everything. So now we catch these hearing losses right from the get-go. We get them aided right away, and we get cochlear implants put on when there's no hearing at all. And these kids are mainstreamed, and their developmental milestones are on par with everybody else, and they are in the grade they're supposed to be in, and they're progressing and excelling in school and college, and it's just been a really, really amazing thing.
Wow,
really good.
That's great. Now, are there any kids that could be missed in the screening, or where something develops in the interim after the initial screening that could then start affecting them, that parents might be going, hey, there could be a problem here?
Yes, there's situations where hearing screening can be done at birth, and they can pass. And then later on, the hearing is affected, and I'm hearing music. Sorry. Yes, the hearing can be affected and continue on later in life due to a poorly formed cochlea or other kind of physical parts of the ear that didn't develop properly at birth. So
How would you know, though? What would you be watching for in these kids? Like, we're looking at our grandkids and they're playing, but is there something that could clue us in?